How you doing today, folks? A little bit later in this video we're going to be doing a hedge trimming job, but before we do that I just wanted to show you my Echo PAS 260. And what the PAS 260 is it's like a Weedwacker head that you can then separate right in the middle here, and you can change out your attachments. So the 260 is actually the last generation. The current generation now would be the 266. There's a whole bunch of models with different power configurations. The one that I got is the second from the top. So you can run all the attachments except for one, which we'll get to later, with this setup. But the really cool thing about this is all you need to do if you want to change your attachment is you pull this little pin, unscrew this knob, and then you can just pull this out and then put the other one back on. So it usually takes a minute or two to go ahead and switch the heads out. And I will admit that depending on the day, some days go better than others. You know, there's two little square shafts in there, and sometimes to get the shafts to line up can be a little bit tricky. The secret is you just need to take a deep breath, like most things in life. Take a deep breath, make sure you got it, you know, in the right order, and never force anything. So the PAS system is really cool because you can have one 2-cycle power head, so you only have to maintain one engine, but then you can run a ton of different attachments. You can have a straight shaft weed whacker, you can have a curved shaft weed whacker. They have a tool called a bed redefiner, which is gaining popularity. I see more and more YouTube videos about them. The only thing is, if you're going to run the bed redefiner with the PAS system, you need to have the biggest power head. They have a straight shaft hedge clipper, which is what I have, and then they also have an articulating shaft hedge clipper. Now I think the articulating shaft hedge clipper would be awesome for cutting back perennials in the fall, and every year I say I really should get one of these, because could you imagine cutting back a garden full of perennials, just standing up, you can articulate the head and just zipping them with a hedge clipper. I think that would be awesome. Let's see what else they have here. There's a blower, there's a tiller cultivator, they have a brush cutter, and there's also a chainsaw head. So there's a ton of different options for this thing. For me, all I have is the hedge clipper. I have a blade edger. I never use it. The blade edger would be great for concrete sidewalks. We don't have a lot of concrete sidewalks around here, and I prefer to use the weed whacker to edge beds. I also have this brush attachment, which is very handy when you're cleaning up along the edge of the road in the spring. You can push the salt back in the road, or if you have a neighbor that plows their gravel onto your driveway, you can hit it with this thing to push the gravel back. The thing you should know is they make a broom attachment and they make a paddle attachment for these things. If you're working on the grass, you should be using the paddle attachment. The broom attachment gets very, it sticks. I mean, it's more work to do. For the cost of the attachment, I didn't know better when I bought it, and I just don't want to go out and buy the other attachment. And then this is, this is the stick edger with probably the original bed I bought for it. And you can see it's just got this little shaft here. It's very easy to switch. So I got my PAS system probably 15 years ago. It seems like I got most of my small equipment 15 years ago. It was kind of the peak of where I was when I was taking care of lawns and trying to find the most efficient way of doing things. Shortly after I got all the equipment, I decided to stop doing lawns and just focus on landscapes. But the PAS system, the Pro Attachment Series, it's a very handy because you're only maintaining, again, that one engine. So maybe you need a weed whacker. So you go out, you just get the Pro Attachment and the weed whacker head, and you got that. But then if you need to do like pruning your shrubs in June, you can just switch out the head and put a shrub head on. Then maybe in the spring you want to clean the lawn off a bit, you can get the paddle for it. I think it's a great option for homeowners, and I also think for contractors to be able to switch back and forth. And I really should get that articulated head because it would make cutting back perennials so much easier. So what we're going to do today is we're going to just go to my neighbor's house who's got a forsythia. Once or twice a year he asks me to just go ahead and round it off. So we're going to round off the forsythia, nothing too fancy, and just kind of show you how this Pro Attachment Series works.